Hey everyone, my name is Shravan Kamdar. This is Gaayatri Morgan. We've worked together in the product space for many years. I have experience primarily in the energy and healthcare sectors, and we've got some cool stuff to share today regarding product management and product design and product research. So, Gaayatri, you want to introduce yourself and maybe take it from there?
Yeah, thanks, Shivan. Hi, guys. I'm Gayatri. I have about 14 years of experience building products, and I'm passionate about building intuitive user experiences. That's about me.
All right. And I think you have something cool to share with us today that you literally built over a couple, maybe less than a day, right?
Yes, I took about 5 hours to build it,
Awesome.
and
All
the
right.
idea stemmed from the fact that I was I was overwhelmingly seeing all AI agents represented as chatbots, and it's so exhausting to just chat to and fro with agents. So I wanted to build a different kind of experience. Even though there's an agent in the back working in the back, I wanted to have a interface that's more goal oriented and focused for the user. That was the thought behind it, behind this
All right.
experiment.
Yeah. And so, just for some context here, what she's made, and we'll walk through it right now, is an ability to create your own focus groups without having to do all the outreach, and it's not that we don't want to, but a lot of times, when we've worked in B2B, you might get one or two stakeholders, but you don't get all the 10 different kinds of end users. And you ideally want the end users' feedback, not just the stakeholders, because that's where the money's really made.
Yeah.
And on the B2C side, I mean, I think Gayatri, you might have more experience with that, but if you want to talk through the challenges on B2C.
Yeah, and just the mere logistics of making sure everybody is available at the same time. And even in B2C context, what happens sometimes is we do not get the right target audience for to do the focus groups. And sometimes users just want to impress you. They don't give you valid feedback. So we do not know if it's actual representation of what they really think about the product.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, so let's share your I'd say beta right now, which you're
Yeah.
gonna turn into an alpha soon. But let me share my screen.
Yay,
Let me
ta-da.
know.
Yeah, I can see
Oh,
your
all right.
screen.
Okay, so this is Synthetic Focus Group powered by AI, made by our friend Gayatri. And what are we going to test today, Gayatri? What's our discussion topic? What's the idea we're testing?
Yeah, let's test the business idea you put in there. What about a
Yep.
protein shake stand outside gyms? Yeah, that's a
All
cool.
right, so we want to build a protein shake stand outside gyms in major Indian metropolitan cities, and we want to understand the potential target audience. And then basically what we do is we just follow this pretty easy interface, how many different personas we want to generate. We have three here. How deep do we want this, focus group conversation to be? Brief, standard, in-depth, extensive, comprehensive, and it tells you the number of exchanges. Um, Obviously, this means, this is how much NVIDIA gets paid, right, Gayatri?
Something like that.
But
And it's OpenAI.
yeah, our OpenAI, yes. So we'll keep it standard here. You can also add visual, if you're this is more of a physical business, but if you have an app-based business, you can add some visual content like, the home screen of your app or something like that, right? Is that correct, Gayatri?
And you can get feedback on it. Or
Right.
if you're a marketer and you have a social media campaign, you want to test your imagery, you can test it here.
Got it. Okay, and then you can build your own personas, which I actually did when I tried it on my app. But for the purposes of this exercise, we will keep the personas auto-generated. So this toggle is on. And then you can add your own custom questions. So we added here what should be the price point of a protein shake? What other supplements would people want coming out of the gym? What hours would be best to operate during? And obviously, you don't want to be rivals with the gym and have animosity. So what's a good way to partner with the gym? So Gayatri, should we launch our focus group?
Yes, let's do it.
All right. There's the drum roll. All right, so
Awesome.
like it says, it takes about 20 to 30 seconds, and it's doing all the fun, hard work on those GPUs from NVIDIA and OpenAI's
Yeah.
GPT-4.
And while we are waiting on it, we can think about the different use cases for this tool. So one other use case I can think of is, let's say you have a product, like if let's say you're a fashion company, you have a clothing you have designed and you want to price the product, you can run this focus group app, put the product picture, and set up your target personas and figure out what should be what will be people willing to pay for this. Hey, we have the result here.
Oh, wow, look at that. All right, so let's review this. So we had our custom questions. It generated three personas. Looks like we have Rajesh. He's 34. He's an IT professional, tech savvy, health conscious. Gives
Okay.
you some information about him. You have Anjali, 27 nutritionist, some more information about her. And Vikram, budget conscious, fitness newbie, very young, college student.
For
You
students.
got a pretty good span of,
Yeah.
the types of people who are going to be going to the gym in an Indian metro. Is that, and you are in Bangalore, so you can tell me whether this is
Yeah,
accurate.
pretty much represent. If I go to my gym, I see the same kind of people there. Yeah, so just
Okay. All right. So okay. So then we go down and we see the discussion transcript. So let's walk everybody through it. So what this does is it simulates an AI moderator. It says, "Hey everyone, thank you for joining the group. Today we're discussing the business idea we talked about in major metro cities, Bangalore, Mumbai, and Delhi, and we'll explore various aspects." And then each person looks like they're introducing themselves. This guy's saying protein shake could be quite convenient. He might want to pay around 150 to 200 rupees,
that is,
which is like $2 to $3, I suppose.
yeah,
And Rajesh was the IT professional, right? Then you have Anjali. She's about 100, 150 rupees is what she's willing to pay. And then Vikram, he's a student, so he's going to be the lowest option at 80 to
yeah.
100 rupees, which is about a little over $1.
Okay,
So yeah, it answered the first question that we had in terms of what type of price point is our audience willing to pay. So that now gives us an idea of whether this protein stand investment could be worth it, right? Depending on how many people can go.
benefit analysis.
Um, Thank you for sharing on pricing. What other products do you think you'd be interested in? So, Rajesh wants pre-workout drinks, BCAAs. I'm not sure what those are, but we'd probably have to look that up.
Yeah. And this is why I like this one because I've never heard
Yeah.
about this. And it's like doing research with actual people and figuring out some.
Right. Yeah, so now you're also learning as you go, not just about them, but about other products that they're interested in that you might be able to offer. Um, yeah, natural supplements, flaxseed, chia. Okay, yeah, never really seen those at a gym, but I guess there could be a market for those as well. And okay, simple things like energy bars, and it keeps tagging what type of person this is, so it kind of helps you understand your crowd.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool. All right, operating hours. So what times would be most effective, right? So he looks like he's a early bird or late evening because he's at work all day. So that's when he's talking about professionals. If you look at the nutritional expert, she's also working, looks like, and she might be more of a weekend person as well. So, she's kind of agreeing with him and also talking about extended hours. And then for the students, again, he's in college, so usually probably the early evening is what he's talking about.
interesting.
All right. And finally, yeah, good ways to partner with the gym, right? So obviously, this is Rajesh, Anjali, and Vikram talking about different ways to partner with the gym, but we could have also added a persona such as the gym owner themselves,
Yes,
right?
yes. We could run this again with the gym owner persona itself, but
Yeah, or we could have just added, hey, more personas, and it might have even generated the gym owner persona.
yeah,
All right, so pretty cool. And then it kind of summarizes everything in terms of what were the things everybody agreed on, what were the points at which they diverged. I think the biggest one we saw, first and foremost, like it
right.
said, the price point, right? And then they had some differences in the pre-workout drinks, but they agreed on a lot of things, just that it's a good idea, how to partner with the gym, things like that. And then recommended actions, it actually breaks it down by your product team, like what should the designer focus on, what the marketers could focus on, what the PMs could focus on. And then for the executives, right, like negotiating the partnerships with the gyms.
Yeah.
And for further research, it also gives you, what you might want to approach next with your next focus group. So, wow, this is pretty holistic and quick, and this could be days or weeks of research consolidated down into what took us, I don't know, like 5 minutes.
Yeah, less than that.
Yeah, so you could run so many of these, and then you'd have a much better point of trying things out. Like you'd be so much more aware of basic things like a BCCA. Neither of us knew what the heck that is. We
Yes.
may have seen it, but we don't know that's a short form for it, at least.
Yes. So
So that's pretty cool.
I have a question for you, Shrivan. Like, as a product leader, how do you see yourself using this product?
Well, I've already used it. So, all right. So here's a quick plug. This is an app that I've created in the last month.
Very cool.
Um, I just, I was trying to help my son understand the stock market. So, let's say if we just click on NVIDIA, rather than give you all the financial gory details of running through a 10K, it actually goes through a lot of the financials for you and scores everything on different metrics, gives you an overall score. And then, you can dive into questions in more simple English with simple bar charts and things like that. If you don't understand, it'll, tell you what this chart means. But it'll ask in simple questions. Is this company bringing in more money than before? Is bringing in money faster than it's burning it? And then our character Bubba here gives you a funny one-liner explaining how it's doing.
Very
So
cool.
this was just something I made, kind of on the side with my son.
Okay.
But we thought, hey, why don't we do a focus group for this?
Okay. Awesome.
So I
Let's.
took this screen here, just this first overview part.
Okay.
And what did I do? Yeah. Okay. So I actually made my own personas based on two people I actually know, right? So um, I have Joe and I have Jane, and they're about this age. And one's a warehouse supervisor, one's a secretary, and owns a business on the side. I kind of generated my own personas there because I wanted to replicate two people I actually knew who are trying to make investments and don't understand financial jargon and Wall Street jargon. I pasted the top of the homepage that you see when you first load the app, and then we went towards the what they thought of just looking at the home screen, right? Like when they see it, what are they overwhelmed with, what they like, what they don't like. So
Okay.
this is just something I did when Gaayatri shared this app with me within like the first 2 minutes, right? And it didn't take that long. Um, so Joe says, the first thing that caught his eyes was the bright colors, how it's very bold. He thought it was a bit too much for him, but he did like the straightforwardness of the numbers and just giving an overall score and getting a quick snapshot. He did say he was a little bit confused by a graph with a dual axis, which I kind of agree with, right? That might be complicating for some people. So he wasn't sure how to read that. I never even thought of that until I saw the output here that, oh, that might be confusing for some people.
Um,
Um, he said Bubba's speech bubble adds a fun element, but he did want more hard facts to make sure, what he's investing in is secure. Same thing we asked Jane. She actually liked the color scheme. She thought it was eye-catching. It made her want to look closer. She loved the icons with the different ratings, breaking down the different aspects of the business. She's a busy mom and a business owner, so she appreciates the simplicity. She liked the playful tone of Bubba. But yeah, she did agree with Joe that she wouldn't want it to overshadow critical information. So similarly, we did a few other questions, and then again, it broke down where Jane and Joe agreed, where they diverged, and then the overall recommendations for the team. But everybody on this team is literally just me. I get a little help from Gayatri every now and then on design. But yeah, really great feedback that gives me an idea of how to move forward and what type of questions I might want to ask people.
yeah. Brilliant. I think it just helps us think in different dimensions when we might be just having a tunnel vision, like you told me today morning. This is
Yeah. Yeah. So we were
this made
discussing
it
earlier.
work is great when I built it. And I'm just pleasantly surprised at the output.
Yeah. And I think the tunnel vision, especially now with all these tools, you can build something sitting in, literally in your room by yourself. and you can easily get tunnel vision. So this is a great way of just testing out your idea beforehand, because it might take a while before you get actual people to try it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, okay, so that was a great session. This is not some regular podcast that we have a name for. We might turn it into that. Let's see how it goes. But just wanted to share this with everybody, right?
Yes, and I'm glad I could had a work session with you and uh, reveal this app to the world along with you. Thank you so much,
Yep.
Shiv.
All right. Thank you.